got a game plan and the right team to make it happen. Whether you're home or away, greatness starts here. For great offers on a Ford F-150 truck, see your local Ford dealer. Visit buyfordnow.com today.
Hey, welcome everybody out there. This is Martin Houston Show. We're gonna be covering the press conference live, so just hang in there with us. When he comes to the podium, we'll have it right here on the Martin Houston Sports Network. Glad that you've chosen to be with us today. There's our buddy Ryan Fowler of the game walking right there, getting his seat, taking his place. But we'll be covering it live, so be patient, and hopefully Coach DeBoer will be headed up to the up to the podium at any time now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Stewart, and it's my honor to welcome you to this beautiful and historic day at the University of Alabama. It's not surprising that the DeBoers were given such an incredible greeting at the airport yesterday, and from Alabama fans all throughout the course of the morning as well, but we're so glad you're here, and we look forward to learning more about you very soon. At this time, it's my honor to introduce the president of the University of Alabama. Please welcome Dr. Stuart Bell.
Thank you, Chris, and good afternoon, everyone. Today is an exciting day for the University of Alabama community, our fans, certainly across this nation, and I think as I've learned, literally across the globe, the excitement. Today marks a new chapter in Crimson Tide football program, and I am filled with immense anticipation and enthusiasm for what lies ahead. I want to express my gratitude to each person in this room who has played a vital role in supporting our university and the Alabama football program. Your guidance, your dedication to the university and our programs continues to be instrumental in the success that we enjoy year over year. First, a special acknowledgement is due to Coach Saban and Miss Terry, whose influence on our student athletes have just been outstanding. It's immeasurable contributions, and also to our university community, but also Tuscaloosa and West Alabama is just truly unparalleled. Your legacy will forever be interwoven with the fabric of the university, and we're profoundly thankful for enduring impact on our student athletes who are in West Alabama, but again, truly all over the world. Thank you, Coach, for all that you have done. Also want to, absolutely. I also want to express my appreciation to Athletic Director Greg Byrne, whose leadership and hard work, and I don't think hard work really captures the last few days, but he has been instrumental in identifying the right person, the perfect person to lead our football program forward, to develop our student athletes, and to represent our university. Greg, thank you for all you've done. Much gratitude as well to all of our UA Board of Trustees, many who are with us here today. Thank you for your leadership, for your guidance. Pro Tem Scott Phelps, also special thanks to our athletic chair, Mike Brock, over the last couple of days has also spent a lot of time in working with us, to Chancellor Finus St. John, and to everyone's ongoing leadership, guidance, and support throughout this process. Thank you for that. So as we embark on this next exciting chapter, I am truly thrilled for the future of the Crimson Tide. Our elite student athletes continue to represent our university with distinction and demonstrate excellence both academically as well as on the field. Their success remains a pride point and a hallmark for this university. Without further delay, I'll now turn it over to Greg Byrne, who will officially introduce our new head coach, share more details about the transformative moment that we're at for Crimson Tide football. Roll Tide, Greg.
Thank you, Dr. Bell. This is an exciting day for the University of Alabama as we welcome Kalen DeBoer as our 28th head football coach. Thank you to Dr. Bell, Chancellor St. John, Athletic Chair Mike Brock, our Board of Trustees, for your leadership and support at all times, and especially during the last few days. Appreciate Coach Saban and Ms. Terry so much for being here today, and we look forward to celebrating them and their incredible accomplishments in the future. When I met with the team the other day after Coach announced his retirement, I asked them to give us 72 hours to help find our next head coach. I received a text from a friend shortly thereafter that said, "Every coaching search day feels like the equivalent of 7 days." When you're in the middle of it, there's some truth to that. Even with that, we were able to hire Coach DeBoer in 49 hours. Regina and I want to thank her for all of her support during this. We had a great conversation with Coach DeBoer and Nicole in Seattle just 2 days ago, and from there, I knew he was the right choice for the Crimson Tide. Simply put, Coach DeBoer is a winner. In his 9 seasons as a head coach, he's 104-12. He went 25-3 in his 2 seasons at Washington after taking over a challenging situation. As we know and watched, he just led the Huskies to the 2024 College Football Playoff National Championship game. Washington won the 2023 Pac-12 championship. They recorded the most wins in a season in Washington program history with 14 last year. He won 6 of the 8 National Coach of the Year awards in 2023 and is back-to-back Pac-12 Coach of the Year award winner. In his last 2 years, his teams went 10-1 against ranked opponents. The list goes on and on. He's a ball coach. Impressive as those accolades are, what stands out equally as much are his relationships off the field and the way he cares about his players. One of the many things I felt responsibility for in this search was to make sure we had someone who cared for our kids just as much as Coach and Miss Terry did. And at the end of the day, when we're hiring a coach, I ask a simple question, because I got to keep it pretty simple for myself. Is this someone I would want my son to play for? The answer for Coach DeBoer is absolutely. We are thrilled to welcome Kalen, his wife Nicole, his daughters Alexis and Avery, here today as we introduce the next head football coach of the University of Alabama, Kalen DeBoer.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, this is exciting. This is really exciting for myself and my family. As they were introduced, first of all, I got a lot of thank yous and people I want to show some appreciation to. But Nicole, Alexis, Avery, this journey that we're on called life, right? It's special. And, special days like this are the ones that we're never going to forget. And I can't thank them enough for their support, their love. They're the ones that allow me to each and every day leave the house, go to work, and give everything I have to our players, our staff, to help us be the best we can be. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and thank you. Thank you. I want to thank Greg. I know this is happening fast, and I just can't say enough about the trust that you have in me and how much I appreciate that. It means so much. We had never met. And, to do your due diligence and all of that and go through the process, I really appreciate it. And I'm so excited to lock arms with you, as I am the rest of the athletic department, all the head coaches here, and continue to build on the great tradition of Alabama athletics as a whole. So many championships, so many great coaches I cannot wait to meet. We're going to continue to strive to make this thing better all together. President Bell and Chancellor St. John, appreciate you guys as well. Looking forward to building this university together. And it's special, and thanks for this opportunity. I could go on and on about the next person I need to thank, show appreciation to, love, and you all know who that is, and Coach Saban. We just talked for the first time yesterday. And I've been in his ear a couple times already here, and man, I can just feel in his voice. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it for many years. This place is special. It's special to him, but it's special to all of you because he's what he's built it up to be. It's not just about the championships. I met with the team last night and heard from them and heard why they came here. Okay, a lot of great reasons, all tied to the Alabama brand, the education, playing here, each and every Saturday, and the support that they get. But obviously there was a major piece of that where they came here because Coach Saban and Miss Terry, poured everything into them, and they just saw the vision and wanted to be a part of it. And it's a privilege to be chosen to be in this role. It's one I don't take lightly. And I know that Coach Saban's been working hard to make sure that this program is in a great spot for the next person to take over. I think he hasn't told me this, but I think there's an intentionality that's been in place. You kind of figure out, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think you kind of know at some point, you don't know when that point is, but you want to make sure it's in a great place. And as you can see just from this past season, it's in a great place. And being in a room last night where, I saw a team that has stuck together. Greg talked about 72 hours, okay? I want you to put yourself in those guys' shoes, okay? The legendary coach, okay, that they came to play for, all right? And now what's next? And I can't tell you how much I appreciate them already. And I've had multiple meetings last night, today with them, individually, leadership groups. I know how badly they want to continue the tradition, how they want to do it the right way. And them just getting to know me here in just a few hours, it's been a blast. And I can't wait for the journey that lies ahead. But Coach Saban, thank you for all you've done, for laying the foundation for myself and the rest of this staff that we'll hire and these players to continue to build on everything you've done here. So thank you. He's the best in the business to ever do it. I'm just going to make sure that's all known, that's how I feel. And 100% access, okay, to everything. I would be a fool if that wasn't the case. I would be a fool. And I'm going to ask him that he shows up and make sure he gives me at least one thing every day. I'm sure he's going to have 10. I'm going to be good with that. But at least one thing that he sees that we can get better at. And so I also think it's it's so important to understand that most programs don't just they don't even have one legend, right? That's in their program or have come through the years, and we have probably more than two if you really want to talk about it. But Coach Bryant, right? And when I talked to Coach Saban yesterday, he spoke of that, and that just right there told me just how humble he is and how grateful he has been to follow in someone else's shoes and continue to build on what we have here at Alabama. I have so many mentors that have helped me get to this spot. I'm not going to get into it, but every player or every coach that I've sat in a film room with, a staff room, when I was an assistant, when I've been a head coach, the head coaches I've worked for, they hold such a strong spot in my heart because they've all helped me get to the place where I'm at today. And I'll get into the players and what I want to see out of them and how we want them to grow while they're here at Alabama. But I also want to make sure that the coaches that I continue to have the privilege to work with each and every day, each and every year, that they understand the commitment I have to them to help them meet their aspirations and goals. Many of them want to be coordinators, many of them want to be head coaches, and I'm looking forward to that journey for them. When I think about different words, and I'll have a few here that I'll bring to you. One of them's embrace, and I think you get the sense that embracing the tradition and embracing the athletic department is something that's very special to me. I also want you to know that you as a community, everyone here, I can't wait for my family and I to embrace you and feel that same thing back to us. I know that will be the case. I don't have to look much past last night when we flew in, and the welcome and the reception that was there. It was so awesome. It was not overwhelming, but it was very close to it, and I appreciate that. I think, want to make sure our alumni know that I'll embrace them, and that this will always be their place. This will always be their home. I know that so many have gone through and played for Coach Saban, and that should not change as far as how they feel about this place. And we need you. And, the investment hours that have been put in by me compared to what has made this place what it is, for me, it's very little. And I want to learn the stories. I want to learn all the great moments. I know many of them. I've watched from afar. But I know there's so many behind the scenes and things that are just important to the tradition and the alumni, and can't wait to have you here and hear all your great stories along the way. But, I just want to reiterate my excitement. And, people ask, I've already asked, like, why would you go to Alabama? Why? Well, I think there's a lot of really obvious answers, right? And I've touched on that. When it comes to tradition and the history of the program, it's second to none. Okay, and when I look at places that I want to be, it's about winning championships, and that's an expectation that I cannot wait and accept as a privilege to try to uphold. Winning SEC championships, winning national championships, that's an expectation and a love and an interest that I've always had, and a passion that I'll have, and looking forward to carry on with our players, our staff, and all of you here as we go through these years ahead. The resources, the facilities, everything that can be here to support our players, our staff. That's my role as a head coach, is to provide that atmosphere, that environment. And when you have resources like we have here at Alabama, it makes my job easier, okay? And looking forward to utilizing and showing off these resources to those that want to be wearing the crimson. A belief of mine when it comes to just athletics is that it brings people together. Again, last night, right? People coming together, and in a much bigger fashion in this beautiful stadium here behind you, bringing people together, bringing a community together. I'm learning about the enrollment of the university and how it's grown, and that's, I know, a credit to what the football program has done, but also to everyone else, buying into the philosophical beliefs of this great university. But when it comes to bringing people together, that is a passion of mine. There's something special about being a head coach and the investment that goes into trying to make all the different pieces fit. having the right people in those places. And these facilities are awesome, but it's the people that make the place special. It truly is. And I felt that, and I've heard that from Greg as we talk, that you here, you all, you have made this special. And it's not just about these beautiful resources, these beautiful facilities. So I'm looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you. I think alignment is important. So when we're talking about, why Alabama, alignment from president on through to Greg, to the head coach, and on down, I just think that the alignment and, just everything that we're all trying to accomplish together in locking arms and fighting the same fight that we all want and knowing that our passions are all the same, that alignment is critical. And the programs and the universities and all the different sport teams that have success, there's usually some sort of alignment. And we certainly have that here on a very strong level at Alabama, and I'm 100% convinced of that. When it comes to our goals, I shared with you it's to win the SEC and a national championship, but how are we going to do that? We're going to do that with class. We're going to do it with integrity, okay, with academic excellence. And that is my job to make sure we uphold the standard that has been set here at Alabama and continue to build on that. When it's about winning, it's also about a culture. And I will share with our guys that as we already have here a culture that is contagious, and you'll hear me say that many times, I cannot wait to add to that, continue to make it to where you can feel through the TV screen when someone's watching a game how hard our guys play and how much they love each other and care for each other and how badly they want to win for all of you. And, the culture will be contagious, and more people, just as it's been, will want to continue to be a part of this. And the last piece, when it comes to developing players athletically, academically, socially, and even spiritually, okay, and that being our focus as a staff, we, in the end, want to make sure that we're building better men. We want to build better men because someday, okay, football will be over, okay? Someday, real life will hit you in the face. And building better men and this time that we're going through, this phase in their life, it is one of the most influential that they will have. And it is a privilege, it is an honor to be someone in a position that can have that influence. And I don't take that lightly, and I will surround myself with a staff that will be great husbands, great fathers, great people, provide a template for our great players that come through here to understand what it looks like to be a man. And that's an awesome goal. Our staff will have a lot of attributes and qualities, and that will definitely be one of them. And so, developing athletically, academically, socially, and spiritually. What's next? As we build our team, last night, just got to hear from some guys. Wasn't a lot of questions, especially as a whole team, but you break off into the little segments, and then they start talking, and that's what I want to hear. I want to hear what makes this place special. I want to hear about the traditions that I'm unaware of. I want to hear about all the things that really matter to them, and ingrain myself into what's been special about Alabama football. But it all starts with the relationships and communication, which builds the trust that we must have to step on the football field with great chemistry, as you've seen years upon years upon years, okay? It isn't just about talent. Talent gets you a long ways, but the championship teams have something special. They have that it factor. And the relationships that we will build will help us have an accountability for each other, okay? Accountability to ourselves, accountability from coach to coach, coach to player, player to player, player to coach. We'll also form a brotherhood that is so tight, okay, that anything that comes our way will not break us. And we'll be tough. And we call these our 3 non-negotiables that we will stand by. And the toughness piece is not just physical, okay, which is what Alabama football prides itself on. It will also be mental. Mental toughness, understanding how to handle adversity, because we understand the challenge that it takes to win a national championship. We understand that it's not easy. It never is, but anything worth anything at all is hard. And we're looking forward to that journey and to those challenges. When it comes to a style of football, I don't know what you've seen about how we've played, but obviously playing hard is a big piece of it. But what we try to do, it's always going to be around our personnel. It's always, yes, we're going to recruit the best, the highest character guys, but we're going to be able to have concepts and systems that are able to be adjusted to what we have and what our strengths are. As much as we have great players at every position, there are some positions that are stronger than others from year to year. And we will be explosive. I can promise you that. We will be aggressive. We will attack. And, you know, we understand that the game was meant to be played one way still, and that's to be physical and dominate in the line of scrimmage and control it from both sides of the ball will always be a staple of our program. And as we go through utilizing our personnel and having a dominant offense and defense along with fundamental special teams, you know, I hope you guys enjoy coming to games and seeing how we play and enjoying, you know, wanting to come in and you know, cheer on and understand that the guys that are wearing those helmets, they have a lot of talent, but they're really special people and pouring everything they can into it. When it comes to recruiting, and I can go on and on about how we will recruit, I understand it's the lifeblood of our program, and we can have great coaches, but the guys on the field are the ones that make the plays. And a relentless attitude, starting with first and foremost myself, and then leading to our staff. It's what it's going to take to be the best of the best here with tough competition here in the SEC and to win a national championship. I'm looking forward to rolling up my sleeves and going to work. And I want to say one more thing because this is something that's very important to me, and I wanted to say it last because I knew I might get emotional. I'm not sure, but I need to thank some people, okay, back at Washington. And it's a special place to me. It really is. And this was one of the few places, maybe the only place that I would have ever left to come coach at. Because I understand what Alabama football is all about. And those guys that I sat in front of a room yesterday, I know what they're going through because I saw the same thing less than 24 hours ago. And I just want to tell everyone, because I know they're watching, I just want to tell you guys I love you. I will miss you. And, you know, I want nothing but the best for everyone back there. And the journey of the last 2 years have been special. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the new journey that lies ahead. I'm looking for those new challenges here. Cannot wait, like I said, to roll up my sleeves with all of you, with our team, okay, and go to battle each and every day, each and every week, each and every year. So thank you, and roll Tide.
We were all waiting on it, and you didn't disappoint. You got the roll tide in, Coach. Great job. Fantastic. At this time, would like to ask the media that will be attending the breakout question and answer sessions, if you would make your way to the west elevators to my right, your left. Print media will be in the recruiting room. Cameras will be in the media room. So again, if the print media would head to the recruiting room and the cameras to the media room, again, to my right. Guests that are attending the reception, if you would make your way to the elevators downstairs to the locker room. Thank you again so much for attending, and I can't do it as well, but roll Tide.
Wow. What a great job. I thank all of you for tuning in today as we've just witnessed the introduction of the 28th national game, 28th boot to the University of Alabama. We'll hang around and see if they bring up any additional um, footage from the video room when they get ready. But until then, want to ask you, what's your thoughts on the University of Alabama's new coach? Did he win the press conference? Did he say some things that you liked, wanted to hear? I took a lot of notes from it, and sure that I'll be showing this and breaking it down as we go throughout the upcoming days and weeks as we look into Coach Kalen DeBoer being the newest head coach, the 28th head coach of the University of Alabama. If you're tuned in right now, this is a special broadcast of the Martin Houston Show. We broadcast normally every Monday through Friday on Facebook, and the best place to find us and follow us, like, share, etc., is at Martin J. Houston 35 on Facebook. That's the page that you need to like, follow, share, at Martin J. Houston 35. Just a couple things there that he talked about. I do love the fact that he nailed the we part right off the bat. Several times he was able to say we, and I love that he's already embracing the University of Alabama as home. People saying time will tell. Well, time will always tell. We need to remember. I don't think we're going to have any losing seasons, down season. I think we're going to keep right on rolling. But we do need to remember that Nick Saban did go 7-6 in year one, but quickly turned things around. I think we're in a much better place with Coach DeBoer. And I think he's going to keep the tide rolling. And we'll be competing for national titles, if not this year, in this upcoming year, which I think is still a great possibility. I think we'll definitely be looking to compete on a pretty consistent basis. He took a Washington program that won 4 games the year before he arrived and immediately took them to heights that they've never been to in total number of wins, 14 this year, coming up 1 game short against the Michigan Wolverines. He was 1-1 against the 2 teams that we were 0-2 against this past year, taking down the Texans. The Texas Longhorns in the week prior to losing to Michigan. And that's the 2 teams that gave us our 2 losses in this season. So feeling good about it. But a couple things, like I said, he used the word embrace. And I thought that was important, that he said that he's going to embrace everything. I'm going to embrace the tradition. I'm going to embrace the former players, the community, the fans, etc. But most of all, we've wondered, how will the transition be when Saban retires? What's going to be the attitude and the mindset? We need to figure all of that out. And he immediately said, I'm going to embrace Saban. And I love it. He said, Saban's going to have full access, but he defined full access. He literally said, I'm going to expect him to give me one thing, at least one thing. He may have 10, but I'm going to expect him to give me at least one thing. Is he going to be able to live that out? Who knows? But at least he's not running from the fact that Saban is still around. And I think that is so, so important, that he's comfortable enough in his own skin as a coach that he's willing to embrace Nick Saban and give him full access and lean on him. So Bama Nation, you should feel better today after that press conference. We'll talk about more of these things when we get to when we go live on Monday, and I'll chop up that press conference and have a couple highlights. But the big question I know a lot of people were asking, and you may have not caught it all, but listen, he said style of play. I love it. He said, we're going to play hard. We're going to be known as playing hard. We're going to build. This is huge. We're going to build around our personnel. Guys, how many times did we say build an offense around Jalen Milroe and his skill set? We said that so many times with Tommy Rees. We never did that this year consistently. We did it at moments. We had flashes, but that was one of the words one of the statements I'd heard about him is his offensive philosophy is so fluid that he's able to build around his talent. He said he's going to build around personnel. He said he's going to have flexibility in his offense, flexibility and ability to do a lot of different things and go with whatever is best. He said, we're going to have talent all over the field. He said, but some rooms will be more talented than others. And when that's the case, we may be more run heavy one game than in another game. We may be more pass heavy. Last night, Ryan Fowler had a guy named Yogi Roth on, who is part of the Elite 11, Pac-12 Network, has access to DeBoer, and he said the thing that you will find is he game plans from week to week, meaning that you don't necessarily see the exact same thing every week. He finds strengths. He's flexible. He coaches. He schemes. I love that about him. He said we're going to be explosive. He said Alabama football is going to be explosive. We've been looking for that. We've been wanting that from the offensive side of the ball. I know a lot of people have talked about Grubb and whether we're going to get him. Guys, Grubb was running DeBoer's offense. DeBoer is an offensive coordinator, and I'm telling you, he is to the offensive side of the ball in 2024 what Nick Saban was to the defensive side of the ball in 2007. That should get you excited, Alabama. Once again, Kalen DeBoer is to the offensive side of the ball what Nick Saban was to the defensive side of the ball. And so, yes, it'd be awesome to get Grubb, but if we don't, they say that there's already a guy groomed to be the coordinator, but that DeBoer himself is the offensive mind, X's and O's guy behind this thing. He said we're going to be aggressive. Right now, everything I've talked about, it sounds like just offense. What is he going to do from the defensive side of the ball? He said offense and defense, we will be aggressive on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. He said we're going to attack on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. Figure he was leaving no bases uncovered because what we can't afford to do is see our defense go back to the Pete Golding days of are we going to be aggressive enough? Are we going to allow teams to move the ball on us at will and at different times? No, he said we're going to be aggressive. We're going to be attacking defense, and we're going to be fundamentally sound on special teams. I left this last one because I love to hear this. No matter how long you play football, guys, it comes down to the offensive line. And he said we're going to be physical and dominate both sides of the line of scrimmage. We're going to be physical and dominate both sides of the line of scrimmage. Whether you know it or not, the offensive line at Washington was voted the best offensive line in the country. Mike Penix was the Heisman Trophy runner-up. Go back and check and see how few times he got sacked versus how many times our guy got sacked. I don't know if Wolford is going to stay on as offensive line coach or he going to bring the guy that coached from Washington. Either way, I want to see dominant play, and that's what he just told us we're going to see, dominant play, physical play from the line of scrimmage. Hey, listen, if you're out there, you have any questions or comments, you're always welcome to post them in the chat. All you have to do is post it in the chat, and I'll work it into the conversation. Michael Jordan saying, hey, time will tell, roll tide. Sounds like he may be a little apprehensive or concerned or just a wait-and-see approach. He also said, I'm not sure. Tell me, Michael Jordan, who Courtney Morgan is. I'm not sure who that is. Let me know who that is, and I'll see if I can work them in if it's appropriate. Jack Colson saying, roll tide. I think the rest of the SEC is going to realize Bama is still here and still the standard. Jack, I'm so glad you typed that in. It's so funny how many people celebrated Nick Saban's retirement like they hadn't had to hire coaches themselves. It's funny. I think they thought that any good coach would be afraid of this challenge. So the assumption I think a lot of fans made from these other schools was that that they would have an advantage because no good coach would leave and come here with Saban still around. Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. Breaking news. One of the hottest coaches, if not the hottest coach in college football. I know there's a lot of hot names, guys, but Lanning, hot name, hadn't done anything. Riley, hot name at one point, hadn't done anything. You're looking at Sark, hot name, first time he's ever had a 10-win season, I think, as a head coach. This guy has had 7, 11-plus win seasons out of 9 years. There's a stat out there saying that this gentleman, Coach DeBoer, he's lost one home game in his head coaching career. One. And that was during COVID. I'm not even sure anybody was there. One home game. His team has taken the field at home one time in his coaching career in 9 years. I don't care if you're coaching in Pop Warner. If you're coaching and you never lose at home, you have a good chance of being really great because you can go on the road and get you some wins and some victories. So kudos to him. The SEC thought that Alabama would fall off because of Saban. I think they're wondering, what could it be? Could the Crimson Tide ascend to the top of the college world again? I think so. I think Alabama nailed it. Once again, I'll go through those really quick. Style of play hard, build around personnel, be flexible in week-to-week preparation, explosive, aggressive, and attacking on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball, fundamentally sound in special teams and in the basics of football, and most importantly, be physical and dominant at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. He said that he understands that recruiting is the lifeblood of the program, and he and his coaches will all have a relentless attitude in their approach to recruiting. Have to make you feel good. He got some non-negotiables, and one of those non-negotiables, he said, was toughness, mental and physical toughness. We may have missed a little bit of that this past year. Will we get it back? I think we will. And like I said, I could go on and on, but I'm not going to stay here much longer. Just a couple other quick things of why he took this job, and then how he closed things out. Why he took this job, he said, I took this job because this place is rich in tradition and history. Tradition and history. He said, it's about winning championships, and that is the expectation, and that's why I came here. I love the fact that he embraced that the expectation in Alabama is to win SEC championships and national championships. He did not run from that. He mentioned national championships probably 5 or 6 times in his opening comments, which tells me he's fully embracing that as well. And then he said that Alabama has the resources and the facility to help him build a culture that he wants to build around his football program. Coach DeBoer, Kalen DeBoer, the 28th coach at Alabama, saying to his Washington fans and friends and family, he loves them and he understands that they're hurting and he wishes them the best. But there was only a few places, and then he tightened down on that and said probably only one place that he would leave the Washington Huskies and come to. And as of today, we're excited that he chose to come to the Alabama Crimson Tide. John Passarella saying, can I talk a little bit about the recruits? Hey guys, I'm not sure exactly which recruits you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about the recruits that are like a Ryan Williams. Guys, I think I think we're going to be okay with Ryan Williams. I will say that I have not verified it, but supposedly they're reporting that T-Rob has headed to Georgia, and that's that's a tough one. Ryan Williams with T-Rob going to Georgia. I think Kirby is brilliant, making a maybe a recruit type hire. He gets a really good coach, a really good recruiter. If that story proves to be true, like I said, I haven't had time to look in it. But if he's gone, it puts Ryan Williams at risk, who's a high schooler that's committed and then decommitted. The reason it's at risk is Saban and T-Rob were supposedly his main recruiters. So DeBoer has a huge uphill battle from a recruiting standpoint. But I do tell you, John, that I think the style of play and the offense that that he runs helps us with Ryan Williams, and I believe that he can show him. If you look at what Penix was when he left Indiana, Penix wasn't as good or any better than what Jalen Milroe was. Jalen Milroe may actually be ahead of where Penix was at Indiana. And so they were able to take Penix from where he was to a Heisman finalist 2 years in a row, best passing offense 2 years in a row, most efficient offense 2 years in a row. That's what's coming to Tuscaloosa. You have a proven quarterback, and then you have some young guys. Ty Simpson is probably loving today. Julian Sand is loving today. I think those guys are going to really be excited about it, and I think that he could come here, and I think you will see some of that. Poor Ryan Williams. I think Bond was a business move, and I'm not knocking him for that. I think he didn't know exactly where Alabama would go with the coaching search, and so he put his name in the portal beforehand to kind of gauge interest, and there's a lot of interest in all of that. But I also think that Bond will look at this coach, talk to this coach, and I think he'll be back in the fold. I think that there are some guys who left Alabama that may have wished they had stuck around. I do think that Jace McClellan, I think it was already decided. You may hear that he's going to the NFL. I think that was already the way he was leaning. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back. They run a lot of one-back offense. I mean, I wish Jace well, but I hope he doesn't come back because it'll make the running back room too crowded. I think Jace and Justice, if they watch what they were able to do with their running back, even though they're known as this physical, this high-powered passing attack, they have a very, very physical run game. And the Mississippi State transfer did really well, and I think those guys will do really well in this offense. They'll also be included and incorporated into the passing game. So big time get. I think that you're going to see very few guys go in the portal. I think the guys you may see go into the portal are guys who who may be concerned that they don't fit as well, but it would be guys that I don't think played a lot. What I'm going to be interested to see is this, John, because everybody assumed that Alabama's the only team that has a portal open. Every place out there that goes from this domino effect, because somebody's going to get hired at Washington. So it'll be interesting to see if Washington stays internal, then the only place we can get additional time from would be from Washington. Additional players. But let's say Washington goes out and hires a head coach from somewhere else, because remember, Washington is now a Big Ten program. There may be a guy, and John, you said, look at the cornerback from Washington, 5-star. He might come to Bama. That's right. We may get some guys from Washington, but it's also possible that Washington can go out and pluck somebody's head coach that opens up, and there could be this domino effect in these next 30 days that gets Alabama a couple of other good players. Billy Clark said, the more I listen to this guy, the more I think he's a great fit. Absolutely. I agree with you, Bill. If you start doing your due diligence, it's a lot like the Nate Oates hire. The Nate Oates hire and the Robert Vaughn hire are guys that you're like, who are these guys? And then when you start looking at them, you start going, wow, these guys have learned. These guys have grown. They're good at what they've done. They have something. They have an edge about them. It is absolutely amazing what's going to be happening from that standpoint. So, this guy, Coach DeBoer, I think he's going to be a much better fit than people even imagine he would be. We'll see what else happened. Jack Colson said, "Hey John, yeah, hoping he can maintain his roster with Saban's help. If he can, future is bright." I think he's going to be able to maintain the roster, Jack. I really, really do. In terms of what's happening out there. Hey, guys, if you have any other questions before I get out of here, please go ahead and post them in chat. We'll keep it rolling. And for those of you who may be listening to me for the first time, I do this every Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 a.m. Then I do special broadcasts when things like these are happening. You need to follow. You may be listening from a bunch of different places. But what I need you to do is I'm going to be consolidating down to just one channel that I go live on, and then we will do special broadcasts on all the other channels. So the follow is facebook.com/Martin J. Houston 35, the number 35, Martin J. Houston, the number 35. And also I broadcast on YouTube if you don't have Facebook at Martin J. Houston 35. So make sure you tell family and friends about this. We love you. I see, I think it's Rollo 100F. I can't tell if that's TZ or FZ. Yep, my dad, Kerry Houston. I'm his boy, and proud of that. Been doing this for quite a while. I love it. I try to give insight and probably a little different perspective than most of the people on television and radio, because I played the game. I was blessed to play the game. You can always interact like this, and I work it into the conversation. Our slogan for the Martin Houston Show is the sound of Bama sports. It's your show, your team. I come in prepared each and every day with topics, but I kind of let my listeners, viewers, and chatters kind of drive the conversation. Much like today, when I was finished talking and you guys had questions, I worked it in. We do that every show. It's a 1 hour show. Hopefully you'll get up and Adam went live. It's from 6 to 7. But remember, because I posted out on social media, it's always available for playback. And then I do a scheduled playback at 6 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday. And so looking forward to it, man. I'm excited about Alabama. One more time, I want to read it so you guys can just go out there. If you hadn't looked at his record, go look at his record. He's only lost 12 games in 9 years as a head coach. He won 3 titles and played for 4 at Sioux Falls. And people said, well, that was at Sioux Falls. Well, he was coaching with Sioux Falls players and NAIA talent, just like all the other coaches. And he he has, without a doubt, he was the best. I mean, so then he moved up as an offensive coordinator, and then he reestablished Fresno State as a great program when he became the offensive coordinator and the head coach. And then in 2 years, he took Washington from 4 wins to the national championship game, and he was undefeated. I think I started to say this early and I didn't. For everybody that wanted Lanning, everybody that wanted Sark, everybody that loved all these guys, he's like 5-0 or 6-0 against Lanning, Rowley, and Sark. So, and he definitely doesn't have the talent that those guys have. He can flat out coach people. He is an X's and O's guru, and we have him at the Alabama Crimson Tide. I tell you one more time, style of play, you got to get excited about this. We're going to play hard. We're going to build around our personnel. We're going to have flexible game plans from week to week. We're going to be explosive and aggressive and attacking on offense and defense. We're going to be fundamentally sound on the offensive side of the ball, special teams, defense, And then I love this. We're going to play physical and dominant football on both sides of the line of scrimmage. I came here because I embrace the tradition and honor and history of Alabama. I embrace the fact that Alabama is about winning championships, and I will live up to that, accept and live up to that expectation. And Alabama has the best resources and facility. I embrace the former players, community, and fans. And Saban will have full access, and I will look to get one thing from him on what we can improve every single day. And then I love this. He said, Alabama, one of the only places, maybe the only place I would have left the Washington Huskies for. Coach Kalen DeBoer, we're excited. We'll be here to cover you from start to finish. There's a new era in Alabama football. Great job on the presser. Now let's take that relentless attitude that you talked about and go out and maintain and yet build upon the greatest program in sports. The University of Alabama football program is in good hands with Coach Kalen DeBoer. Thanks to him and Nicole and his daughters for all being here. Oh, yeah, by the way, just a quick sidebar. I heard that his daughter is a really, really good recruit. So if you see Coach Murphy talking a lot about this hire, he may get him a big-time softball player out of it. But seriously, thanks, Coach DeBoer, to your wife, your family, and all of you for accepting the challenge of becoming the next head coach at the University of Alabama. And I can't go off the air without saying thank you to the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Coach Nick Saban. Thanks for all you've done to set us up for where we are. If someone had told me that this day was coming and I would feel this good about the next head coach, because I'm telling you, I've had anxiety before the day came of where would Alabama go. But I can tell you that if you had a bucket or a list or a ranking, how do you feel about this? From 1 to 10, I would have told you the best I could hope for would be a 5 or a 6. Right now, I'm sitting on 9.5. Right now, excited about Coach DeBoer being in Crimson and leading the Crimson Tide. CJ Watson says, it was an interesting introductory press conference. Most of the time, a guy has to come in and talk about how he's going to change the program, change the culture, change the expectation. He recognized that isn't the thing to say today. Good job on that. That's a level of understanding that I think we will all benefit from. For the Martin Houston Show, this has been a special broadcast covering the University of Alabama press conference introduction of Coach Kalen DeBoer, the 28th coach of the University of Alabama. Hey, all of y'all, please make sure that you join me on Monday at Martin J. Houston 35 on Facebook, facebook.com/Martin J. Houston 35 on Monday. We'll be back. And hey, like I do it each and every day, remember, trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide out there, everybody.